Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. So lovely to chat to you, Katie. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. You've got a proper studio going there, have you? In set?
Yes. Yeah. Just for voiceover stuff, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I quite like it. It's the end of my mum and dad's garden, so that's quite handy.
Lovely. You got your own little outhouse there. No
Absolutely, I know it's
distractions.
yeah, it's great. It's completely zen out here as well. Apart from when my dad's like rocking out on his guitar, bless him.
That's pretty cool. Cool dad.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He's very cool.
So thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us. Maybe you could just kick off with a brief introduction to Me, Myself and Die. For people who don't know anything about the film, how do you describe what it's all about? What can people expect?
So people can expect a really good, fun, feel-good, funny film from Me, Myself and Die. Something really light-hearted after what's been a pretty difficult couple of years. I think if people want to watch something and just escape and have a bit of a nostalgic throwback to some holidays gone by, I think it'd be a really nice watch for people and they can laugh along the ride with us.
And you've got quite an interesting story about, landing this lead role because you were auditioning for a smaller part, right? And then they were just so blown away. So tell us a little bit how you got involved with the project and how you landed that lead role.
Yeah, so my agent Chloe rang me and she said you've got this audition, and it was for a couple of lines, and so I rocked up to the audition in Manchester, and yeah, I did the scene, a couple of improvisations, and then I just remember them all sort of looking at each other, and Melanie, the casting director, asked me to just step out for a couple of minutes, and like paranoia started setting in, thinking, oh God, what have I done wrong? And then and so she said, we'd like you to audition for Janet, the lead. And I was like, oh, so inhaled the script for 90 minutes in a coffee shop around the corner. And then went back, read for Janet. A few days later, had a recall where I met Lucy and Tiger, and then yeah, within a week I was on set filming in real. So it was just a total whirlwind. It was but brilliant. It was such a lovely experience.
And it just looks like you all had so much fun making this film. And, this kind of an ensemble cast, really, but particularly, the relationship between you and Lucy comes across really well. Obviously, not always getting on and there's tensions there, and there's a lot of like classic stuff I think like women can probably recognize, from certain
Yeah.
friendships they had through the years. So tell us a bit about the making of the film, and particularly the relationship with Lucy and your two characters.
So I met Lucy at the recall, and we instantly just got on straight away. And I think that was so difficult actually, because as you said, they have quite a turbulent relationship. So there was in between scenes, she's going, "I'm so sorry, I'm just being so horrid." So that was just, it was really hard because obviously we were getting on like a house on fire, and yeah, we were living together in on the caravan site, so it just meant that we could just bond so quickly and really, create that relationship, that friendship that Janet and Di, well, I call her friendship, bless Janet, but yeah, so that was really great to sort of build that friendship, which was like totally genuine off screen. And so yeah, like I said, it was so difficult to sort of play the scenes, particularly when it gets quite emotional, and it's and she's not being particularly pleasant towards Janet, to put it lightly. But yeah, I think it's interesting because like you said, with friendships and stuff, and people can be quite mean to each other. I think actually sometimes you can be the meanest to the people that you are closest to, actually, because you're so comfortable around them and you say things that you think is like really off the cuff, and don't realize actually just how much weight that holds and how much that sticks with someone. And so yeah, I think it was really interesting to play and dig deep into these relationships and friendships and everything. Yeah.
And especially like, where it's set. I mean, perhaps you would have preferred, shooting overseas, you know, or in the French Riviera or something, but it's not quite that.
It
But
would
there's
that be
something
nice?
there's something brilliant though about the kind of sort of anti-glamour of it all, you know, even the poolside, you know, it's not like the out in the sunshine, but it's just so, you know, your bog standard pool. And but probably lots of British people will recognize those sorts of holiday resorts from when they were younger. Lots of people are staycationing, aren't they, this year
Yeah,
because they can't go abroad.
absolutely.
So, you know, what was it like kind of leaning into sort of that very, very British holiday style?
Well, I mean, I think we've set a trend, haven't we? I mean, we were ahead of the time when we were filming, because, like you said, people are going to be doing that this year, aren't they? And I just think it was because obviously we're filming on location, and so there were genuine like holiday makers whilst we were there in the June, and it was and so I think they were thinking, what on earth is going on? Who are all these people? But there's just something really lovely about it. And I just think, you know, and I just think people can have a brilliant, I think sometimes it doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with. And, you know, you can have a brilliant holiday in Butlins and also a brilliant holiday in Barbados. You know, I think it's whoever you're on holiday with, really, or whether you're on your own and fancy your own company. But yeah, it was a real laugh. And what was brilliant was like I said, because we were staying on location, it was like we were on a school trip for 3 weeks because we just all, you know, everyone was pitching in and popping into people's caravans, you know. It was surreal, but it was such a laugh and kind of took me back to like school trips and stuff back in the day. And, you know, it was just brilliant. We had so much fun, possibly too much fun, to be fair.
And were there any moments where anything went wrong, or that were particularly funny, or that you found particularly challenging, things that you had to do as part of the shoot?
Well, I mean, I'm a northerner, so I'm used to bad weather. Let's just put it that way. Although we do get a press, it is sunny occasionally up here. But yes, so the weather was just really not on our side for the shoot. It just kept raining and raining, and I mean the crew did a brilliant job of making it look so serene and in between all the rain, it's like, right, and go, action. We're off. But there was this one scene where we were having afternoon tea outside, and obviously being a seaside town, there's loads of seagulls, and it was so funny. James, one of the runners, had to get chips on the top of one of the vans and drive really slowly to coax these seagulls away, because we just couldn't get the scene done. The poor tiger was sat there just looking at me, like waiting to say the next line, because I could hear it in the background. It's like, cut again. So yeah, I just have this image of James just driving off with the chips and all these seagulls, like, oh, what's this? So that was that was a slight complication. I don't think people realised just how difficult it was going to be working around the very diva-ish seagulls.
We always say that don't work with animals and children. I mean, this one was
Oh,
accidental. But
well, I mean, I'd just say don't work with birds. I just think they're a nightmare. The seagulls were just awful. But yeah, they're vicious. And I swear, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but after everything being shut down the past year and a bit, it's like birds are getting bigger. I swear, they're like, some look like pterodactyls. What is going on? They've all been allowed to eat everything.
a Hitchcock film or something like it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, yeah. No, nobody needs a repeat of that, do they?
And you're mentioning there, you know, being northern, and you know, there's a kind of one of the threads through the film is this kind of like class tension and divide, which obviously, you know, throughout the film kind of shifts because you realize not every, you know, the people you meet aren't exactly as they seem. So, you know, what do you think there is in the film to say about that? You know, do people still have prejudices? It's a big thing in the UK, isn't it? Why are we still so obsessed with class? And maybe where you
Yeah.
do go on holiday, people judge you, you know, oh, you're obviously working class if you're going on a holiday there. So, you know, do you think that's a thread that comes through the film? And you know, what do you think emerges from that theme?
I think it just reminds us that we need to stop having like preconceived ideas about people and not judging a book by its cover. And I think, you know, there is divides, and there shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, you know, we're all just human, aren't we? And you know, and I mean, at the end of the day, not everyone's going to get along, and that's absolutely fine. But but yeah, I just think it does highlight, obviously, clear differences in ways. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day who you are. I think as long as you're a nice person, that's all that matters, really. And I think Janet's just an absolute sweetheart, and I don't see how anyone couldn't fall in love with her. And I'm not just saying that because I'm playing. I just think she's so lovely. It's just, you know, she's one of those people that you just want to, you know, take under your wing, and it's just like, come on. So I think that's why it was so lovely to play her, really. Bless her.
And did you have to give Lucy much coaching on accent and stuff? And do you think we have enough Northern accents in films and on TV? I mean, we do have a lot, but maybe not enough still.
I mean, I've been quite lucky, actually. Majority of my career, I've had my own accent. It's only in this where, obviously, you get to see a bit of my attempt at an RP. But yeah, no, Lucy. I think Lucy rocked the Northern accent. She was asking on the side, am I saying this right? Which I thought was, you know, because double checking, because I'm obviously from Bolton. But yeah, I think it's lovely when you get to hear a Northern accent in stuff, and it's really funny, isn't it? And when people surprise Northerners. I remember when Jodie Comer was on Graham Norton, and obviously speaking with her own accent, her Scouse accent, and the comments online were just, it was like, what? She's Scouse? What is this? And it was just like, what? Like, why are people so surprised? It's so funny. But yeah, I mean, I suppose she hasn't really done anything in her home accent yet, so that I think probably hence the huge surprise. But yeah, I just think there's something quite comforting, well, I think, about a Northern accent, isn't there? I suppose it's quite nice. Well, I like it.
Both my parents are from Manchester, so I definitely find it comforting. I've lived down south all my life, but yeah, a lot of my family are from up there. So yeah, I definitely have that comforting association. But I was also remembering Cheryl Cole, didn't she, when she did X Factor in the US? No one American could understand.
Yeah. So no, I know.
Out.
That's the thing. It's like the Northeast accent can be really, really thick. My boyfriend's from Middlesbrough, and I remember when I first went up to go and see his family, I was just like, because they talk so fast as well, and I think because they were excited to meet me, and it's just like some regional accents can be so thick, can't they? I mean, I'm assuming that everyone can tell what I'm saying.
No,
I think it's all fine. But as if your parents are from Manchester, that's lovely. I love Manchester.
And the other thing I was going to ask about is, you know, obviously female-led comedy and very, very British, like we're saying, both in its location, but also, you know, in the humor. What are some of the other like comedies and, you know, maybe rom-coms that you liked growing up that maybe informed, you know, the making of this film?
Oh goodness. Well, as a kid, I was obsessed with Goldie Hawn. I thought she was just ace, and like Overboard and Private Benjamin and First Wives Club. Like I just used to love watching her in that. And obviously being from Bolton, I'm a big Peter Kay fan. I think he's hilarious. I mean, Car Share's just so funny. And gosh, I remember Phoenix Nights being I've performed in that club in Farnworth. It's really funny when you walk in and it's just like, oh, this is so weird. But yeah, I just think, and there's some cracking comedies out there, and who doesn't love a good rom-com? I just think it's so nice to just be able to put something on that's so feel good. You know, it's I think everybody needs a bit of sunshine, and hopefully the sunshine from Rill is brought into people's lives with this film.
And do you think almost in the ilk of kind of Bridget Jones, if you like, kind of breaking that traditional mold of, you know, exactly how, you know, leading women have to be, or, you know, the style of comedy, or maybe even like Bridesmaids, things like that. Like, it feels like over the last few years, we've seen a real shift, and there's more and more of these female-led comedies coming through.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, bring them on, like, let's have more, please. And yeah, I just think, you know, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you look like, we're all deserving of love. And that's you know, and this is hopefully Janet's chance of love. Don't want to give it away, obviously, but and I think, you know, it's her sort of realizing that she can love herself as she is, which I think is so important. And you know, and I think we all struggle, don't we? And with the pressures from, especially, you know, nowadays with social media and stuff, I just think it's so tricky, and you know, you can get stuck down that hole. But I just think, yeah, we're just more body positivity, and you know, and like rooting for each other. And I think that's nice, and be kind and love yourself. That's, you know, I think that's what we should do, and that's what we should strive for.
And I was talking a bit with Lucy how right now it feels like we've got kind of, you know, two ends of the spectrum. Like, on the one hand, it feels like it's a lot more about body positivity and, you know, women feeling more empowered about how they look, and with social media and stuff. Then on the flip side, it feels like things perhaps are even getting worse, though. In, you know, like, if you think of, like, you know, the stars of Little Mix, kind of, for example, how they've come out and said about the pressures. So it feels like there's two contradictory things going on. Do you think that that's true?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, and people that are happy to say things behind a screen that they wouldn't necessarily openly say to someone's face. And I think that's really tricky. And I think, you know, it's a sort of new thing that people are having to incorporate into their job if you're in the public eye. And I just think, you know, I've watched the documentaries from the girls from Little Mix, and it's just awful. I just think people are so nasty, and I don't see any need for it. And you know, I've always been taught, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. And I just think, you know, it's just, some people just need to have a minute, have a quiet word with themselves, and you know, and just, you know, have a think about things. I just think life's hard enough. Why make it harder? Why be so negative? I just think, you know, let's just all try and strive to have a nice time, shall we? You know. Let's make it easy for ourselves and not be so tough on each other. It's, you know, and that's the thing. And I really hope we do come on the other side of things, and people are nicer and kinder, and you know, and hopefully anyone that's negative can just, quite frankly, get in the bin.
Indeed. And you know, what does it feel like to be having a film out right now after the year we've had, like you were saying at the beginning, hopefully getting people back into cinemas, and you know, to all be watching films together and having a bit of feel good vibes. So, you know, is it nice to be putting film out right now?
I can't tell you how excited I am to go and sit in a cinema tomorrow. It's like, it's one of my favorite things to do, to go to the cinema and go to the theatre, and it's sharing it with other people, isn't it? You know, when you go in, there's nothing quite like that smell of popcorn and sat there in the cinema, and you know, and I just think it's lovely to have those shared experiences, which I think we've missed out on so much. And you know, the arts are so important. And you know, I can't wait to go to the theatre as well. I need to get something booked in. And I just think, yeah, I can't wait to see the film. And I think it's so important after this past year. It's not even a year, is it? It's what, 18 months now or something. Goodness me, it's crazy. You know, actually getting to see something feel good is going to be so nice for people. So yeah, bring it on. Let's watch all the feel good films. I love it.
And then finally, just very quickly, do you know what you're going to be doing next? Have you already got projects in the pipeline? Are you looking for new things? What's next?
Nothing in the pipeline as of yet. So I'm just really excited to see what the future holds. Obviously, with the pandemic, you know, things opening up now, hopefully like more opportunities coming through. So yeah, so I'm excited. Bring it on.
All right, well, it's been fantastic to speak to you, and yeah, and enjoy watching the film in an actual real life cinema with other people, and have a wonderful summer and enjoy the release of the film.
You too. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks a
Lovely
lot,
chatting.
Katie. Lovely to chat to you. Bye. Bye.